Hello everybody and welcome back to Casual Gamer Oz as we move now into round 2 of Season 4, our career mode here on F1 2017. We're at the Shanghai International Circuit in China. Best qualifying here of pole position back in Season 2 at F1 2016. And we're going to see if we can replicate that now. Now, good news is our update that we put on the car in Australia has successfully been fitted. So we should have a tiny bit of upgrade increase here. And we've also fitted on our next upgrade, which supposedly is a major upgrade to the engine power. So therefore, that's going to take a little bit longer and won't be in place till Russia. So that's interesting. Just thought we'd update you there. And as we said before, we would decrease the difficulty ever so slightly. Now, I thought we were on 71. We're actually already on 70. So I've decreased it down to 69 just to see if that makes a bit of a difference. Obviously, if it's going to be too easy for us, if all of a sudden we start getting poles in every single race and qualifying and podiums and wins, then we probably will reduce it down a little bit because we don't want to make it too easy. We still want a bit of a challenge, and that's kind of where we're going to go. And obviously with the increased power updates and things like that we're doing on the car, hopefully it can balance it out slightly. So right now we're on the bubble here of 9th. We're expected to qualify 18th or higher. So we'll see if this makes much of a difference, because of course it's really qualifying that's killing us a lot of the time here on our season mode, because that then affects us moving forward on the grid. And we're still hovering here in the top 10. Drop down to 10th actually, to be precise. And we've scored points in every single race in this Grand Prix on F1 2017. And last year actually, believe it or not, it was one of our only 3 races that we scored points in. So there you go, 10th here last season. But I don't think we're going to sneak into the top 10 here. But we should be ahead of our target of 18th, barring any absolute disasters. 13th. All right, Jeffrey. Thank you. That's 3 spots higher than last year where we were 16th. So there you go. We'll take that. So Vettel, Raikkonen, Hamilton, Bottas, Ricciardo, Verstappen, Perez, Massa, Ocon, Grosjean. Also, we have a new rival. Nico Hülkenberg is our new rival. Again, we're back to a Renault driver as our rival. So we'll update you on that. And we're going to update you now by moving through the race day and see how well we can do there. And we're going to do that now. So yeah, best ever finish here in China is a 6th place, which we've achieved twice in both Season 1 and Season 2 on F1 2017. So just an update for you there in terms of where we generally are on this race, in this race. So we want to try and get some more development points, obviously, so we can, once we hopefully get a successful part fitting come Russia, we can move forward to our next one. We're losing rivalry after having such a good qualifying session. Can we get out of the red zone yet? We want to try and get to number 1 driver, because number 1 driver also gets you better R&D points. So there you go. All right. Hülkenberg, the Bolkenberg. So here we go, folks. We want to have a nice, clean, points-filled race. Have not scored points since Austria Season 3. That is a gap now of 12 Grand Prix since we last scored points. So that's been our disappointing streak so far here on F1 2017 in these career modes. We have a dry race, which is good. And it will be even better if we're on the inside line here. We're about to find out. And anytime soon would be great. Today. Okay, we're on the outside. That's a bit of a bugger. But let's do this. Rich mode on for the opening lap. China is go. We're going to cut across ever so slightly there, but we're just going to plant ourselves in the middle because we were going to get taken out there by an errant Lance Stroll. So we move here into turn 1. Whoa, and I get sideswiped there by a car. And again, a very racy Palmer, and I get a warning for that. Go fuck yourself, stewards. He drove into me. But again, the stewards just don't know what the hell they're doing in this game. As, well, we get away with any other collisions. 16th is where we need to finish in this race. We're going to make a lot of positions up here. There's our rival. We had a bit of a race with him here this time last year, I remember, with Hülkenberg. As we get that over the top of him. We'll take that start. We would love to get ahead of Grosjean here to get into the points. We're sitting in 11th at the moment, just outside, as we're getting very close to the back of the Haas. We're on the arse of the Haas. Still in rich mode. We'll keep that down at least into the back straight. And we're going to slide one up there. We can hold on to it. Oh, we do. Good move there, if I don't say so myself. And that's how you do it. And we're up into the points here. Place we finished in last year in 10th. Can we hold on to this? I'm not too sure. Our engine, the power in it. We'll see if the increase has worked. Let's put it back to standard modes now because we wasted a lot of fuel on that lap. And I think with this major upgrade that we've got, and hopefully that will work into Russia, then we're going to work on some of the fuel efficiency modes on this power unit. There's, we had a little bit errant there in that last corner. Don't actually get a warning for it, surprisingly. Again, the penalty system goes a little bit cray-cray here on F1 2017, because I would assume that that is worthy of at least a warning compared to some of my other warnings we get. We sweep through this first and second turn and get a little bit closer to the back of Massa. 2 Force Indias just ahead of Massa here. And of course we're ahead of our rival Hulkenberg. So that's going to be good. And we're ahead of where we're meant to finish. So far so good on that mode. Are we ahead of... that was Grosjean, Hulkenberg that we passed. Because obviously it was Palmer who was racing with us off the line. I just looked like there was a yellow car ahead of us there. And that can't be right. Probably a Red Bull, the yellow tinge on their engine cover perhaps. And we're just hanging on the back here of Massa, which isn't usually the case. And I'm guessing that's probably a bit of a mixture of the update and a little bit of a mixture of the fact that we've lessened the difficulty just a smidge. Just an ever so smidge, only 1 point obviously. And it's not going to affect me very well if I get a shit turn into a corner like that. Get a good exit out of that one, to say the least. Can we whack the rich modes up? No, I really shouldn't. Save that for a little bit later in the race, perhaps. We can close the gap on them in the opening section of this race. This lap, I should say. Massa getting held up by the Force Indias. And of course, if we can challenge these guys and also get our reputation going a little bit higher with both these guys in front of us, we'd like to drive for one of these guys in the midfield a little bit further up if we're not going to get an automatic Red Bull or Ferrari option, which is looking ever less likely in this game. And if we're going to get a Ferrari one, it might not even come to like the very last season. We have to really pick our game up. And it's not coming anytime soon unless a miracle happens this season. And one thing though I have to say is that we are looking quite racy. The pace is not dropping off as much as it did as we saw in Australia, which is good. And we're just hanging in with these guys. I'm going to put on rich mode to see if we can get within a second to get that DRS heading down the back straight. Got a tiny bit in reserve, which should be enough to maybe just get us within that second that we need. Well, within a second here, surely. I feel like we are. I'm going to push myself wide. That's not going to help. That is not going to help in the slightest. And we're not within a second, so that's not going to help. That's not going to give us in the DRS zone, which is a real bugger. Absolute annoying there. As we're going to have to take it off rich mode there, because that is going to waste us some fuel. Bugger. There's our opportunity for an overtake. Now I could very much late brake here, but that would completely risk it, and I would end up forcing myself off the circuit and probably damaging a front wing into the back of one of these guys. And we're going to take 10th over not finishing, of course, because that's well ahead of where we're expected to finish. Let's put it back up to rich mode again here. We get into our penultimate lap. See if we can just get a bit of a boost on them coming into this opening sequence, which we seem to always get very close to them here. Sweeping around. Massa's getting very held up here. We're very close. I don't think we're going to be able to have a run on the inside there without damaging the car. And we should get a run up here. Perhaps there's always an overtaking manoeuvre up into this turn up here. Don't know if we're close enough. I don't think we're close enough. We're not close enough, sadly. Just hover it on there a little bit. It's going to keep that fuel mode just up ever so slightly again. Get a good run, have a nice clean section here. Not if I do that. Not if I do that. Oh, this is tight. Let's see if we can hold on to it coming into this turn here where we went wide last time. Still don't think we're within a second. And we are not, which is going to be costly. We're not going to get DRS. And we're not going to get a good run out of it into the straight. Nope. Okay. Back into standard. We're going to run out of fuel. And that's how we're done and dusted. We're not going to get old Grosjean now all of a sudden. He's got DRS. I'm going to move just slightly to the inside to plan it here to force him that he has to go around the outside, and he's not going to do that because the AI aren't that smart. I thought we'd pulled away from Grosjean, but obviously this little train in front of us has pushed us back into him. More so than that, and he's obviously getting DRS because he's close enough to me. Final lap. And we're going to have to probably switch focus from trying to get a better position to actually defending our position here. As we once again get so close to this battle, but I can't do anything about it because I can't put up to rich mode because I do not have enough petrol to be able to do that. Yes, I know the car behind me is gaining on me, Jeffrey. I do have eyes. Thank you very much for stating the obvious there, my friend. I appreciate it. I'll bring you the Captain Obvious Award for the Grand Prix afterwards. The light has come on the dashboard for the fuel. That is not a good sign. That is not a good sign. Neither is running myself ragged like that. Oh, I get a bit slide there. This is looking risky. This is looking very risky here that I might lose this final point. Just keep it on the island, Ben. Keep it on the island. Don't worry about these ones in front of you. Just worry about defending it. I'm actually closer to the ones in front of me than I have been all race, believe it or not. Still not going to get DRS. Grosjean will, though, no doubt. As will the Hulk. Oh, I'm on the bubble of petrol. I am so on the bubble. I don't even have enough to really put it into lean. Let's just force Grosjean. No, he's going to get the inside on me. That was stupid. That was very stupid there, Ben. I'm going to cross in there. Oh, I've had to cut the circuit just ever so slightly. And I've got enough now. We're going to put it back into lean mode now so we can cross the line. We're going to get a point. We're going to get a point. Vettel's won the Grand Prix. Hulkenberg's lost some more places, which is good for us in the battle. We got a point. And that's all Jeffrey has to say, the ungrateful little shit. Well, we finished in the same place we did last year. So you would say the improvement hasn't really gotten too much there. But it's a well-earned point. We got a lot closer to the guys in front of us than we did last year, so we'll take it. You gotta take it every now and then. You gotta take the small victories. And yeah, let's just have a bit of a look at the replay, just to how it all played out there off the starting line at least. There we go. And now Palmer drives into me, and I get the warning. Go figure. Fair enough. I was very lucky, I think, there not to actually get taken out completely or lose any have any wing damage there. But again, some of my starts are just costing me a little bit because I'm just being a little less risky in the starts, which therefore mean I've got more work to do in the next corners. Whereas I used to make up a lot more positions, but I'm a lot more wary about losing front wings. There's my rival Hulkenberg. Bang wheels again with another Renault. This time around I don't get a warning. Go figure. And nice little battle there with the Hulk. Alright. So, standings-wise, Raikkonen leads Vettel, Hamilton, Bottas. We're up into 11th there with 1 point. Quarter of what we scored last season. And there we go, Toro Rosso on the board as well. So this has been the Chinese Grand Prix. We're off to Bahrain next. Remember to like, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for tuning in to Casual Game Roz. We'll speak to you in Sakia. Good night.